Daughter, I saw the exact moment your hands trembled today, even before the sun reached its highest point in the sky. I saw when the weight on your shoulders turned into physical pain, a knot that rises up your neck and steals the peace from your face. You wonder why you are so exhausted, why your strength seems to have slipped through your fingers like fine sand. And the answer lies in the battlefield you yourself have created in your living room, at your work and within your heart. You came seeking direction, a life mentorship that could give you breath. And what I have to tell you in this message is that your weariness comes not only from effort, but from fighting battles I never asked you to win. You have spent your sacred ammunition on distractions, on the noise of those who have no destiny, and on the poison of those who have never built a single brick in the kingdom. Listen to what your father tells you now. You need to learn to choose your battles better, or you will reach the end of the journey without the strength to reap the fruits I have planted for you. I know every prayer made in the silence of your empty kitchen, while the coffee cooled on the table and tears fell unseen. I was there when you tried to explain your truth to those already determined to judge you. I am the Lord of hosts, the one who trains your hands for battle, but I am also the God of rest, and today I will show you the strategic map to protect your soul. If you remain with me until the last breath of this message, I will give you a key of wisdom that will change the way you face every provocation. In the end, I will whisper a specific phrase to your heart, an eternal truth that will serve as an impenetrable shield for your days of affliction. Whoever receives this phrase and declares it with faith will see the turbulent waters calm before their eyes. If this breath of my voice is finding a home in your heart now, speak to me below in the comments. Tell me your name so that I may feel it vibrate in my presence. Tell me from which state, city, or country you hear me, and what the exact time is on your clock right now. Let your heart overflow and write as a sincere cry, a heartfelt outpouring from someone who knows they are not alone. My Lord and my God, here I am. I subscribe to this channel because I love you above all else, and my soul thirsts to hear your voice. Now take a deep breath and enter with me into this place of peace. I want you to understand that your time is the most precious resource I have given you, and the enemy knows this. He doesn't need to destroy you, if he can only distract you with useless fights and arguments that lead nowhere. But I haven't yet shown you the secret behind the silence that conquers giants. If this first part of my revelation made sense for your journey, tap the like button and subscribe with care so you don't miss the next steps of this mentorship. What do you feel has been stealing your energy the most in recent days? Write in the comments our word of surrender, my rest. You know, daughter, there is something I have prepared for your tomorrow, but you will only have eyes to see it if you stop looking at the stones they throw in your path now. You think your exhaustion is just physical tiredness, but I, who probe the depths of your being, tell you that it is an exhaustion of the soul. I saw when you sat in that armchair in the living room, with the light off, and felt a weight on your chest that seemed to weigh 1,000 kilos. I saw your gaze lost on the ceiling at 3 in the morning, trying to find a way out of a labyrinth of words that weren't even spoken by me, but by people who don't know your destiny. You are fighting to prove your worth to those who have already decided to devalue you, and this, my daughter, is a war that consumes your ammunition without ever giving you victory. There was a moment a few days ago when you read that message on your phone and your heart raced. Your hands grew cold and a lump tightened in your throat. At that instant, the enemy smiled, not because he had defeated you, but because he managed to steal 10 minutes of your peace with a distraction. He knows that if he keeps you busy responding to every criticism, clearing your name before those who like mudslinging, and trying to fix those who don't want to be healed, you won't have the strength to raise your sword when the real battle arrives. You are living in a state of alert because of noises, and noise doesn't have the power to kill you. It only has the power to paralyze you. I called you to be a warrior, not someone who fights over anything. In my kingdom, the economy of forces is a survival strategy. Remember, David, he didn't stop to argue with his brothers who humiliated him in the camp. He simply asked what would be done to whoever defeated the giant and moved on. If he had spent his energy trying to convince his brothers that he was anointed, he would have arrived before Goliath breathless and unfocused. Feel now the touch of my hands upon your eyes, removing this fog of confusion. I am restoring your discernment. Not every attack is a call to battle. Sometimes The attack is merely a test to see if you have learned the art of spiritual detachment. You owe no explanation of your journey to those who do not walk beside you. Stop giving an audience to those who only want to see your downfall. The silence I ask of you today is not a sign of weakness. It is the roar of one who trusts that the Lord of hosts is in the rear. But I have not yet shown you what happens in the spiritual world when you simply decide to turn your back on a provocation. There is a movement in the heavens that only begins when you let go of the rope in this fight that is not yours. If this truth is bringing relief to your heart right now, share this message with a friend you know who is exhausted by the wrong struggles. Let God's love flow through you. What do you feel you most need to surrender to God right now? Tell me in the comments using our word of clarity, my peace. I have something saved for the next step in our conversation, something about a seed you planted amidst tears and that now needs protection to flourish. My beloved daughter, while I teach you to save your vital energy for the battles that truly matter, I want you to look tenderly at what you now hold in your hands. I'm not talking about lifeless coins, but about the seed of profound gratitude that sprouts from a heart that has finally understood that it no longer walks in solitude. This channel, where my voice reaches your innermost being, fares like sacred soil that needs to be watered with zeal, so that other souls may also find their way back to my arms. If your heart feels the sweet desire to go deeper, only if it is possible for you at this moment, transform your immense gratitude into a seed of love for this digital garden. Consider my eternal love and the sacrifice of my Son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment below. There you will find the place where your offering of affection can be deposited and duly consecrated before me, the Creator of all things visible and invisible. You can contribute any amount your soul feels. Just type the desired number. Always remember, I receive every gesture with infinite love. The material amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give, because what is little for you can represent a miracle for those who receive my word through you. Whoever contributes any amount with a truly sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city along with your contribution of faith. For on the first day of the following month, in a unique and very special video on our channel Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in the form of eternal gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written, "Give, and it will be given to you." A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Luke chapter 6, verse 38. Every offering made in faith is a living seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret, and reward in the sight of all. Remain until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. There is a force that your human eyes have not yet learned to measure, but that your spirit feels every time you decide not to retaliate. I saw when you entered that kitchen last night, your bare feet feeling the cold ceramic floor, and the only sound was the tap that insisted on dripping rhythmically. The silence of the house was heavy, almost palpable, and inside you, a cry of injustice wanted to leap from your throat. You had all the arguments, all the evidence, and all the reason in the world, but I whispered in your ear, "It is not yet time to speak." And you, in a gesture of surrender that moved me, simply closed your eyes and took a deep breath, letting the anger dissolve into the darkness of the room. At that moment, daughter, you didn't lose an argument. You gained a fortress. The strength that springs from your silence is not cowardice, it is spiritual authority. When you remain silent before those who only want to see you fall, you deprive the enemy of fuel. He feeds on your reaction, your justification, and your despair. But when he finds a soul that rests in my rule, he becomes confused. He doesn't know what to do with a woman who prefers my company to the fleeting pleasure of having the last word. Think about it. How many times have you spoken too much and spent the rest of the week trying to gather the ashes? How many times has your tongue been quicker than your discernment, and you ended up fighting a war that wasn't even yours? I want to teach you to be selective. I want you to understand that your silence is a high-caliber weapon of war. In silence I work. In silence I adjust what is out of place. In silence I prepare the banquet while your adversaries tire of shouting into the wind. I was with you that early morning, when your pillow felt like stone and the weight of loneliness pressed against your chest. I saw you pick up the phone to respond to that harsh criticism, but something stopped you. It was me. I held your hand. I protected your identity. You are not what they say. You are what I wrote about you even before the foundations of the earth were laid. Silence is the womb where my greatest promises for your life are gestated, but don't think this silence will be eternal. It is only the prelude to a song of victory that everyone will hear, but I haven't yet shown you how this same silence will open doors that human hands have tried to lock with 7 keys. If the weight that was on your soul has begun to lessen as you listen to me, leave your sign of affection here. What area of your life do you decide to surrender to my silence today? Tell me in the comments our word of liberation. I am free. Now listen more attentively, for what I am about to present to you is the daily remedy I have prepared so that you will never again feel helpless in the nights of war. My daughter, this silence that now embraces you does not need to be a place of loneliness or uncertainty. I know that after this conversation, the world outside will continue trying to summon you to wars that do not belong to you, and the noise of criticism will once again surround your ears. You will need a daily remedy for the soul, a compass of peace that reminds you with each new sunrise which battles I have truly given you to win and which you should simply ignore. I do not want you to walk only with what you hear here, but to have my voice echoing in your heart, in every small detail of your routine, from the moment you open your eyes until the instant you rest your head on the pillow, tired from your work. If your heart burns with the sincere desire to go deeper into my presence, and you want constant companionship for your prayers, know that I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, which I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was carefully prepared to accompany you day after day, being your support in silence and intimacy. Access to begin this journey of light is also in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment below. And listen carefully to what I tell you. If today is not possible for you, do not condemn yourself and do not allow sadness to visit you. Remain here with me, because I will also sustain you with this message until the very last second. And so that your heart may fully rest and not be troubled by doubts, right after you register, access will arrive directly in the email you provided, with all the correct step-by-step instructions to begin reading and feeling my care. For it is written, "Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground." Psalm 143:10. This devotional will be like a balm for your weariness, teaching you the art of shielding your peace. Now take a deep breath. Feel my embrace enveloping you and remain steadfast. For the answer you asked for in the stillness of the night is about to be revealed to your spirit. Do you remember that early morning, exactly 3 days ago, when the clock struck 3:17 and the silence of the room seemed to scream in your ears? I was there. I saw you turn to your side, feeling the pillow damp with the tears you had tried so hard to hold back all day. You looked at the ceiling and had the distinct feeling that the sky was made of bronze, that your words hit the ceiling and returned to your chest, empty and cold. In that moment of silent despair, you asked me for a sign. You asked me, with a choked voice, if it was worth continuing to be the only one seeking peace while everyone around you seemed determined to cultivate chaos. For the sign you asked for did not come through thunder or an extraordinary event, but through this voice that now makes your heart beat differently. I am answering that question you asked in the dark. Yes, my daughter, it is worth it, but not in the way you have been doing it. The sign I give you today is the sign of strategic retreat. I am authorizing you to drop the weapons that are wounding your own hands. You know that family conflict that seems like an endless cycle? Do you know that intrigue at work that drains your will to get out of bed? The sign you were looking for is this. Stop fighting against flesh and blood. Your victory will not come from your shouting but from your surrender to my care. I have prepared your tomorrow in a way that your eyes, still blurred by fatigue, cannot see. While you worry about how to respond to that person who hurt you, I am already moving hearts you don't even know to open doors you never imagined. The sign is the peace that begins to flood your chest right now. Feel this gentle warmth that rises through your feet and calms the trembling of your legs. It is the confirmation that I have taken the lead for you. You no longer need to guard the door. I am the sentinel who never sleeps. You asked to know if I was still listening. Listen carefully. I not only heard, but I noted every sigh you made in that dark room. What I have prepared for your future requires that you arrive there whole, not in pieces from wearing yourself down in pointless fights. Choosing your battles wisely is a sign that you trust in my justice, for it is written, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Psalm 35. Your morning has already begun to dawn in the spiritual world, but there is still something I have prepared in the midst of this desert you are crossing, something that will nourish you in the moment when everyone thinks you will falter. If you feel this sign went straight to your heart, share this video now with 3 people who also need a sign from God today. Be the channel of my answer for them. What do you most want God to change in your tomorrow? Write to me here in the comments our word of faith, my sign. The next step in our journey will show you a table I am setting up in a place where no one expected anything. Daughter, look around you. Many times you have looked at your life and seen only dry soil, a land cracked by the scorching sun of worries and the cold wind of others' ingratitude. You felt like you were in a desert, where every step was a sacrifice, and every sigh seemed to carry the dust of dreams that never blossomed. The world told you, and even your own mind whispered, that in that place of scarcity, nothing more would sprout. They said your time had passed, that your strength was exhausted, and that you should just accept the aridity of your destiny. But I, the Lord who makes water spring forth in solitude, have been preparing something all along that the eyes of your persecutors could never imagine. While you were busy trying to fight against those who criticized you, I was setting a table. Imagine now, in the heat of your desert, a table covered with pure white linen, overflowing with the fresh bread of my presence and the new wine of my joy. I am preparing this banquet precisely in the presence of those who tried to diminish you. You don't need to shout to be heard, nor do you need to retaliate to be respected. Your greatest victory will be to sit at my table and eat in peace, while those who awaited your downfall watch from afar your exaltation. Remember the moment you entered that market a few days ago and felt the weight in your heart as you looked at the prices and your bank account. You felt a tightness in your chest, an uncertainty about tomorrow that almost took your breath away. That afternoon, you arrived home, left your bags on the table, and sat down in silence, feeling only the weariness in your legs and the doubt in your soul. I was there, caressing your hair. I saw your frugality. I saw your effort to keep everything in order. For I tell you today, the desert is not your end. It is merely the setting where my provision will become unforgettable. For it is written, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Psalm 23:5. This table is not only about the bread that nourishes the body, but about the sustenance that will shield your spirit. I am anointing your head with the oil of wisdom, so that you may know exactly whom to invite to sit beside you and from whom you should distance yourself to protect your peace. Not everyone can partake of what I have prepared for you. From today onward, your table will be a place of honor, where the noise of wrong battles will not be allowed to enter. You will see provisions arrive from where you never planted, and doors open without you having to knock on them forcefully. But I haven't yet shown you what I am doing behind the scenes, behind doors you think are locked forever. There is an invisible action, a silent movement being orchestrated right now, while you rest in my word. If you feel that my provision is already on its way to your home, leave your sign of gratitude here. What do you most want to see flourishing in your life this year? Tell me in the comments our word of trust, my provision. The next movement of heaven in your direction will reveal something that happened in secret. While you thought nothing was changing, have you ever stopped to think about what happens when you decide not to force that door that slammed shut? I saw you standing there, in the dark hallway of your own life, staring at the cold wood and the lock that seemed to mock your persistence. Your hands even touched the doorknob, feeling the icy metal, and for a second you wanted to bang, scream, and demand that it open. But you remembered what I told you, that there are doors that I myself close to spare you battles you cannot win now. And you let go of the doorknob. You turned your back and walked towards the light of the window, even with a heavy heart, leaving behind the desire to control the uncontrollable. In that instant of renunciation, as you walked away, my invisible work began. You didn't see it, but the sound of keys turning in the spiritual world echoed for all eternity. Behind those doors that you think are locked forever, I am removing obstacles you didn't even know existed. I am speaking to hardened hearts. I am clearing your path, and I am preparing a scenario where your entry will not be through your own effort, but through a real and divine invitation. The enemy wanted you to exhaust yourself, trying to break into what only my hand can open. But your decision to choose peace instead of brute force completely disarmed the army that awaited you on the other side. Remember that connection you were hoping for that didn't come? Or that project that seemed right and suddenly vanished like smoke through your fingers? You felt rejected, left aside, as if forgotten on the shelf of time. But I tell you now, what you call rejection, I call protection. What you call delay, I call sacred alignment. I am working on the details that your human eyes, tired by routine and the light of the screens you look at late into the night, cannot capture. There is a silent movement, an action that makes no noise in neighbors' conversations, does not earn applause, and is not announced by human trumpets, but which changes the course of entire generations. Trust in what I do in secret. Often, the silence of heaven is not absence, it is absolute concentration. I am focused on giving you the best, and the best requires that certain battles be simply abandoned halfway. You do not need to watch over what I have already promised to guard with my own life. Let me take care of all the behind-the-scenes work, while you take care of keeping your heart clean of bitterness and resentment. What is being prepared in the darkness of my action will be revealed in the light of my glory at the exact time, and it will be so perfect that you will understand why the previous door needed to remain closed. But I haven't yet shown you what happens to your identity as a daughter when you finally stop seeing yourself only as a survivor of pointless wars. If you feel that my invisible work has already begun to untie the knots in your story, tap the like button and share this message with someone who is losing sleep over a closed door. Before we move on to the next revelation, let me ask you, what would you give up today if you had absolute certainty that I am already resolving everything behind the scenes? Write to me in the comments our word of surrender. God acts. Now, breathe calmly and feel the weight lifting from your shoulders, because what I'm going to remind you of next is who you really are, so that you never again accept crumbs of attention in battlefields that don't deserve you. I saw you approach that mirror in the hallway earlier today, before the house awoke to the noise of the world. I saw you pause there for a brief second and let your eyes linger on the marks that time had etched on your face. You lightly ran your fingers over your skin, and a heavy sigh escaped your chest. In that instant, a bitter thought crossed your mind, the feeling that you had become invisible, that the years had taken away your beauty, your usefulness, and that you were now just an extra in the story of people you yourself helped to build. You felt forgotten, like an old book on a dusty shelf that no one else is interested in opening. But listen to what your Creator tells you now, as the silence of your room embraces you. To me, you have never been invisible. I do not see you as the world sees you. The world looks at the surface, at what you can produce, or at the appearance that time tries to wear away, but I look at the essence that I myself breathed into you. Those marks you see in the mirror are not signs of decay. They are the medals of honor from the wars you won in silence, the sleepless nights you spent caring for others, and the tears you swallowed so that no one around you would falter. You are my masterpiece, sculpted with patience and eternal love. You no longer need to fight to be noticed or to prove your worth through human effort. Your identity is not in what you do, the position you hold, or how much you can still carry on your shoulders. Your identity lies in the fact that you are mine. I chose you even before your heart beat its first beat. I was there when you were just a dream, and I will be here when everyone else is gone. The feeling of abandonment that tries to suffocate you is a lie the enemy tells you so that you forget the royal lineage that runs in your spiritual veins. You are not just any survivor. You are a daughter of the King, and my kingdom moves because of you. Feel now the renewal of your dignity. I am washing your soul of all the dust that humiliation and contempt have thrown upon you. I am exchanging those garments of ashes for garments of praise. You are not a forgotten draught, you are the main text of my love. For it is written, "Can a mother forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Even these may forget, yet I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me." Isaiah chapter 49, verses 15 and 16. You are engraved in me. Every detail of your life, every pain you felt, and every desire you kept deep within your being are before my eyes now. No longer accept the crumbs of attention the world offers you. You have the entire banquet of my love at your disposal. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are necessary for what I will yet accomplish on earth. But I have not yet shown you the fruit that is about to ripen on the tree of your patience, something that will prove that your waiting time was your greatest investment. If you receive this redemption of your identity as a daughter today, leave your sign of love here for your father. Beyond being a mother, wife, or professional, who is the woman I created to shine when the lights of the world go out? Tell me in the comments our word of honor, beloved daughter. The next move of heaven toward you will seal the promise that has sustained your steps, even when the ground seemed to disappear. You look at the horizon of your life and sometimes feel that my promises have been lost along the way, like seeds blown away by a strong wind. I saw when you sat in that rocking chair on the porch, or perhaps on that cold park bench, watching the dry leaves fall and thinking that your time to bloom had passed. You counted the months, added up the years of waiting, and in the silence of your soul a painful thought settled in. God has forgotten what he promised me. But I tell you today, with the authority of the one who sustains the stars in the firmament, that my word is not like the word of men, which fails, which tires, or which goes back on its word. The time of waiting you went through was not a void, but a time of maturation. You were not stagnant. You were being prepared to bear the weight of the glory that I will pour out upon you. If I had given you certain victories amidst those misguided battles you insisted on fighting, you would have lost them due to a lack of emotional strength. Today, you are stronger. Today, your silence is worth more than your shouting. Today, you know where to place your feet. The fruit being produced on the tree of your patience is sweet. It is large and it is eternal. It will not rot on the tree. It will nourish not only you, but all who doubted your destiny. For it is written, "As the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return there without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." Isaiah chapter 55, verses 10 and 11. My promise concerning your house, your peace, and your descendants is in full motion, even if your natural eyes do not yet see the sprout emerging from the earth. I am watering your soil with your own tears of intercession. Nothing is lost. Every battle you chose to abandon in favor of your peace was a credit you accumulated in my kingdom. Prepare your heart, for the time to reap what was sown amidst pain is knocking at your door. But before this encounter is complete, I need to give you the last piece of this sacred puzzle, the answer I promised you at the beginning, when your heart was still heavy with doubt. If you believe that none of my words will fall to the ground, leave here your testimony of hope. What do you feel God is awakening in you now, after all you have heard? Write for me here in the comments our word of victory, my fruit. Now take a deep breath and receive what my heart has for yours in the final breath of this conversation. My daughter, now that we walk together on these paths of revelation and divine strategy, I feel your heart lighter, as if a leaden burden has been lifted from your shoulders. You came here seeking life mentorship, and you leave here with an armor of light. You have learned that being strong is not about winning every argument, but about having the wisdom not to engage in them. You understand that your silence is where I work most, and that your identity as a daughter is your greatest treasure. Don't let the noise of the outside world steal the melody I have just composed within you. Remember what I promised you when we began this journey, that there would be a clear answer, a spiritual key that would seal your peace. That time has come. The phrase I want you to carry engraved on the tablet of your heart, and which will serve as your shield every time a futile battle tries to distract you, is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Now write this phrase in the comments with all the strength of your soul. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By doing this, you are not just typing words. You are releasing a prophetic decree over your mind, your body, and your home. You are declaring that your strength does not come from your arm, but from my presence within you. This is the key that opens the door to rest and closes the door to exhaustion. Don't forget that I still have much more to reveal to you. This is just one movement in an eternal symphony I have prepared for your life. Continue listening to my voice through the messages I have left for you in our playlist. Each one is a new step in your direction. I still have secrets about your future that can only be whispered to those who choose to remain in my company. Go in peace, with your head held high and your heart shielded. I am your Father. I am your fortress, and I will be with you until the end of time.